but it's just not this easy, perfect, follow the yellow brick road type of journey, okay? Hey guys, welcome back. I am Darian, and today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of walking in purpose, finding your purpose and walking it out. I wish I had this video at the time when I was seeking my purpose and, going through that discovery phase of what am I here to do? And when I find out what am I here to do, how do I do it? How do I go forth and carry out, what I have been designed to do? And the reason I say that I wish I had a video like this or this video before actually seeking out my purpose, not to say that I wouldn't walk out my purpose after knowing certain things, but it would have helped to have certain, I guess, heads up on some of the things that I would go through after finding my purpose. I was just so excited at that time in my life when I was exploring what my purpose is. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, kind of naively going into what finding your purpose would look like. I would hear people saying like, oh, I found my purpose. I'm seeing all these purpose coaches like pop up, but I didn't know what I was actually walking into. And again, let me just say, I'm not trying to scare anyone away from seeking their purpose, but I just think it helps to go in being aware of some of the things that can happen after you start embarking on this journey. If I would have known what I would have endured, I think it would have helped me to better prepare for the journey that I was embarking on. So let's go ahead and jump into it and get down to the nitty gritty. So first things first is most people you encounter are probably not going to be in their purpose. And it doesn't mean that they can't eventually get in purpose or find their purpose, but I have found that in my journey of actually being in purpose and walking out purpose, I encounter a lot of people who are not in their purpose. And in me encountering them not in their purpose and me being in my purpose now, I have gotten some reactions that aren't always positive. I mean, think about it. If a person is not flowing and walking out what they're meant to be doing, you can definitely count on there being some kind of like something is unfulfilled inside of a person. I have been at that place. I remember years ago when I was working and I thought that I was in my purpose because I was doing something that was helping people. But let me just tell you, it doesn't matter if you're helping people if you're still not doing what you were placed on this earth to do. You can help people all day and all night. And yes, you may feel a little good about what you may be doing, but that emptiness will still be there because you won't feel fulfilled. And I used to gaslight myself and it wasn't like intentional, obviously, but I had gone through all the training and schooling for specific things. And I just felt like this, I've already gone through the training. Everybody had talked me into this is such a good path for you to take. And granted, it is a good path, I believe, for the right person that it is for. And here's the kicker. I was actually really good at what I was doing. I was really good at my job, but it just wasn't the job that I was supposed to be doing long term. I remember having those moments where I used to think like, can I really do this for the rest of my life? I don't know if I can do this for the rest of my life. Like I went through so much guilt and all the things. And the reality is that most people are seeking jobs for whatever money they can get from the job, which makes sense. You don't want to be working a job that you're not making money from. But a lot of people are kind of coached maybe by their parents. You need to get this job because it's going to make you money this way and you'll be able to have the life you want this way. But if you notice, a lot of people that just do a job because it's the job to do or it's the job that everyone says is making the money, and they stay in it and it is not their purpose. I have noticed that a lot of people that have just stuck it out because it's a good job and not their purpose, they are miserable even later down the lines. It's almost like some have felt like their life has been a waste. And I personally did not want that feeling. Like it's just something inside of me was like, I cannot do this. So imagine how many people are out here that are doing what they're not really called to do, but it's making the money for them in the moment. And maybe they're banking on what the future will hold for them, whether that's retirement or whatever, to hold them down. Maybe they don't have the courage to genuinely step out and follow purpose. I'm not saying once you follow purpose, you're just gonna automatically just make a bunch of money and, everything's gonna be perfect and birds singing and chirping and, sunshine and rainbows. That is what I thought finding my purpose was gonna be like at first. I just thought everything would just fall to alignment and be perfect. And when everything does eventually fall into alignment, but it's just not this easy, perfect, follow the yellow brick road type of journey, okay? Okay, so most people are not in their purpose, and when you encounter people that are not in your purpose and they see you thriving and in your purpose, it could trigger the people. It could trigger the people around you. So that was one of the first things I started to notice. So as you're embarking on your purpose, you should be aware of this. Don't expect that because you find your purpose that everyone's going to be like, happy you found your purpose, because most people are also seeking out their purpose. And if you find people that are also walking out their purpose, that is a good thing. That is a good thing. I would actually say surround yourself around people who are in their purpose, who are on that journey, who could maybe possibly help you on your journey, be of support. They're going through what you may be going through. I understand what you're going through. So let's go ahead and jump into the pros, because I don't want to start this out like it's just something negative. I absolutely, definitely believe it's so worth it finding your purpose, but you just have to know how to navigate it and be prepared for what could happen on the journey. So here's the first pro that I have written down, and that is you will be fulfilled even through hard times. And when I say you will be fulfilled, I think I had the idea that I would be fulfilled once I found my purpose, and I am. But I kind of just had this one view of me being fulfilled. Like life was just going to be perfect. And again, the birds were going to be singing, rainbows, sunshine, all great things. And I do have fulfillment. I am fulfilled. But the thing about it is that, life is still life. We still go through hard times. We still are going to go through our trials and our tests. But through the trials and tests, with me knowing my purpose, with me knowing why I'm here and what I'm supposed to be doing, that has just given me that extra push through the trials and the tests. So you will have that feeling of being fulfilled, which I think just about everybody is seeking. I feel like just about everybody wants to know, why am I here? And sometimes I think when we think of what is my purpose, we think that our purpose is this deep, mystical thing. Sometimes your purpose is just to uplift the people that are around you. Your purpose could be to make other people feel beautiful. Your purpose could be to help people financially be prepared and, make a greater income in whatever space you are in. Your purpose could be to pour into children that will be leading the next generation. Your purpose could be to make music that just touches people's soul and bring healing, whatever genre that may be in. So we have so many different purposes, and I think sometimes we think like in order to have like this great purpose, it has to be like maybe you're a pastor or a life coach or this exceptional teacher, motivational speaker to have this great purpose. No. The thing about it is that you just have to know who are your people and who are you supposed to reach. And once you find out who your people are that you're supposed to reach, you can tap into that and help and have such an impact on those people. I truly believe that not everybody is supposed to have this big, huge outreach for everyone. That may be too much for you to handle for your life. And if you feel like that is what it is for you, sometimes it's a journey to get there. Maybe there are things you have to learn on the journey before you're able to address a large crowd and do what you want to do before a mass amount of people. Every time you encounter those things, whether that's speaking in front of an audience, whether that's helping certain person or population, you will feel fulfilled. Like you will be able to go home and be like, I know that I am doing what I'm doing, even through the hard work, even through the hustle and bustle. It's just something inside of you that lets you know that I am doing what I am supposed to be doing. Once I start to feel that feeling, walking out my specific purpose and doing the specific things that I'm supposed to be doing, it's just like I feel so full. I just light up and it feels good. Okay, so let's get into the next pro, and that is that you will thrive in life. You will thrive in so many areas of your life. Now, obviously, life comes with its twists and turns. We have different seasons. So let's say, knowing that you're in your purpose, you're going to thrive financially. You just may be going through a season where finances are not thriving, where finances are still being built, or you're trying to figure out how you're going to make finances. So I don't want to make this, again, to sound like this perfected thing that you're never going to go through any trials or hardships. You're never going to have a down season. But overall, you should be thriving in life once you find your purpose. Again, the finances, that is dependent on everybody's different circumstance. Maybe you have to build up to that. Maybe the finances will come right away with you in your purpose. Maybe emotionally, now you're starting to feel fulfilled and healed, and mentally you just feel at peace. Like you have that peace that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, that I'm making the impact that I'm supposed to be making. So you should expect to be thriving and actually having the feeling that you are thriving in your life. And yes, again, you may have like ruts or times where you don't feel completely like you're thriving, but when I have found myself in those situations or having those feelings, a lot of times I'm not fully doing everything I'm supposed to be doing in my purpose. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm supposed to be doing something else at this time and in this season. But once I figure it out and get back to it, things start to pick up again. I start to, okay, this is the next piece to the puzzle. So it all starts to just come together again. Maybe it's just time to pivot in your purpose. So maybe it's time to find what you're supposed to be doing in that next season regarding your purpose. The reason you will find that you are thriving when you find your purpose is because that is where you are meant to be. That is why you were put on this earth. And I feel like this is a thing of life. When you are where you're supposed to be, things just have to align. Things just have to align. When you are at the right place, right time, doing what you're supposed to be doing, I truly believe that things just align in life. Even let's bring in the concept of love. People say a lot that you can have the right person at the wrong time, and it just messes things up. Think about purpose and life like that. If you're not in your purpose and doing what you're supposed to be doing, operating from what you're supposed to be operating, that can mess up the flow of things. If it's not at the right time and you try to rush the process to get there for whatever reason, maybe you think you'll make money quicker, or you're supposed to be there because you, whatever the reason, you want recognition, you can actually end up messing up the process of things and setting yourself back, or not seeing the fruit of what you're supposed to be doing because it's just simply not time yet. I want you to also consider that maybe if you feel like you're in purpose and life is still not how you want it to be, please consider that every decision we make in life has consequences. So it may not necessarily be tied to you being in purpose or not, but maybe just decision making and consequences and different things. That's why I say life is so versatile. It has so many different things that we can go through. So simply just sit back and reassess your life if you feel like you're in your purpose, but things just may not be good or may not be necessarily aligning the way you think. Maybe it's some decisions that you have to make or some changes that you may have to make in life. Okay, here is the next pro. You should be happier in life once you find your purpose and you're flowing and operating from your purpose. I remember when I did not have my purpose, I did not know my purpose, I was not flowing and operating from my purpose, and I used to be so miserable. Again, I used to think like, am I supposed to be doing this for the rest of my life? And it just didn't sit well with my spirit. So I get why I run into some people and they are miserable. They hate life. They're not excited for the next day. They're just going along and getting through it. I was there, so I understand it. But the only way I was able to get out of it was to seek my purpose, was to find my purpose and take the leap of faith. Step out and say, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to just step out and see what happens. Has it been an easy journey all throughout? No, but it's been fulfilling. And I continue on the journey, and new things get revealed to me, and I just pivot as needed. So you have to be willing to be brave and courageous to step out and see what's going to happen. I get it. When you are seeing certain amounts of money come in and you're just comfortable, even though you may be miserable, it is hard to leave. It is hard to say bye bye and walk away. And I'm not telling you to quit anything or leave anything. That is your decision to assess and see if that is for you to do. But also, it may not be time for that. Maybe you need to prepare. Maybe you need to see, do you have backup? So everybody's life is different, but I'm just saying that for me, I had to walk away from what I was doing so that I can embark on the journey of fulfillment and finding what I was meant to do. There is a specific purpose in my life, and I don't want to go into it in this video, but I know I am purposed to do things beauty wise and in the beauty industry. And for some reason, I was so driven to do what I am meant to do that I took the extra step to learn and get what I needed to get so that I can do what I am doing today. And let's get into the last pro that I have written down, and that is that you will be able to help the people that you are called to. When you are just doing what you're supposed to be doing, what you're created to do, and it could be as simple as creating handbags, okay? Some cute bags that women are gonna love, that you're going to help encourage and make them feel confident just from simply wearing your bag. It just makes their day. It takes them to the next level. When you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, you are able to reach the people that you are supposed to reach. You are able to impact them in the way that you're supposed to impact them. And again, it doesn't have to be so deep and mysterious. Your purpose, literally, your purpose could be to be a fashion designer, and your designs go all over the world and help people to find the fashions that they need for certain events. And these events could be big events. And it just continues to go on and on and on. So your purpose doesn't have to be something so deep and spiritual. And, I think sometimes people just overthink what their purpose is. Your purpose could be to make some beautiful cakes for people that impact them at their event. So you will reach the people that you're supposed to reach when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and it's going to have impact on them. You're going to feel fulfilled and happy even on the busiest of days. Something inside of you is just going to be like fulfilled, like I'm doing what I am supposed to be doing. Think about it that way. If you're not in your purpose, the people that you're meant to reach and help, they may get what they need from another place, but what if they got it from you? That would have given them the maximal impact in their life. Okay, so let's hop into the cons of finding your purpose. And I say cons just to let you be aware that it's not going to always probably be this, again, this fairy tale experience walking in purpose. But I don't say cons to scare you or to make you turn away from pursuing your purpose. It is more so to say, hey, these are some things that can happen on the journey of pursuing your purpose. And I kind of already talked about this, so I'm not going to go too deep into this specific one. But the first con that I wrote down is that people that are not in their purpose, people that are not fulfilled, people that are not happy in their life are not going to necessarily always respond well to you as a person who is flowing in what they're supposed to be doing and making impacts in the lives of others. And again, I, just as many other people, have been in that base of where you're just unfulfilled and not happy. So I do have compassion for those people, but you cannot allow that to stop you on your journey and set you back. You cannot allow them to keep pushing, projecting negative things onto you because they have not yet got to that place. Just like I had to make a decision that I want better and more for my life, every other person who is not in their purpose that desires to be there is going to have to do the work, seek out their purpose, and make the decision that they are going to just go with it, run with it. Okay, let's get into this next thing. You're going to notice that you're going to have certain times where it just feels like a lot of things are coming up against you. And you have to look at it spiritually and not from the natural. Although things are going to happen in the natural. So people are going to do certain things. People are going to be used by demonic forces to try to throw you off course, cause distractions, maybe try to mess up things. But that is the thing about being in purpose, is you have to want it. You have to keep pushing through. And this can happen in so many different ways. Through family, it can happen through friends or associates. It can happen, maybe your job is actually the purpose that you're supposed to be doing. You're on at your purpose. I want to put that in there too. I'm not saying that working a job does not mean that you're not in your purpose. I actually believe there are certain people called to certain jobs and positions. But when you just go into something because you feel like it's just going to make you the most money and you'll be set for life, a lot of times you may find that that's not actually the case. Yeah, you may be making good money, but you're miserable. So what's the point of having the money if you can't spend it, or if you're miserable with what is going on in life? But anyway, back to the topic at hand. Things are going to be used to try to come against you and your purpose. I vividly can recall back to when I wasn't in purpose, and I was just kind of just going with the flow, around this place. I was not going through as many spiritual attacks as now that I'm in my purpose and walking things out. And I am equipped to, continue to go and walk it out. And I thank God He's given me spiritual gifts and insight, and I'm able to see what is actually trying to come against me spiritually. But I did not notice these things prior to being in purpose. And why would it matter? Because you're not doing what you're meant to be here for. So why would you be fought? We usually are fought on the things that are meant for us, that matter, that will take us to the next level. And this is for me too. When I was doing destructive things in my life, even not even knowing it, just following the path that I thought was good for me but wasn't good for me. When I was on the destructive path for my life, I was not fought like this. It was fine. It was fine because I wasn't doing anything to make an impact. So you have to know that once you find purpose, you got to learn how to fight. Okay? Not physically. I mean, I'm not here to talk against knowing how to defend yourself, but I'm speaking from spiritual terms, okay? We handle things spiritually, okay? But seriously, you have to open your eyes to see things from a spiritual perspective, or you will miss it. You will miss that your coworker is trying to come against you because she's trying to get you to give up on this job and leave and quit. But there are 5 more people that you have to impact at this job before it's your time to move on to the next assignment. So it's not always going to, again, come off super spiritual, but when you're able to tap in, you'll see, oh, okay, this is what this is about. I'm meant to be here. I'm helping people, and some bad force is trying to come in and pull me off course so that I don't fulfill what I need to fulfill in this season. Once you get to your place of purpose and you're happy and you're at peace and fulfilled, you better know that there are going to be people that will try to come in your life and pull you from this place, pull you off course. And this could be family, this could be friends, this could be at the job. You have to be aware of what is going on around you. I specifically have a situation that I encountered where I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm happy, I'm thriving, and someone felt that it was their business to come up to me and tell me what I need to be doing and go back to and this and that. When I think about when I was doing what I was doing and how I was not thriving, I wasn't happy, I wasn't at my best place, and it was bringing me down in so many ways, physically, emotionally, it just was bringing me down because I just knew that I wasn't supposed to be doing what I was supposed to be doing. And now that I'm in a place that I'm thriving and somebody is trying to tell me that I need to do this, when I know that I was not thriving in that place, but I'm thriving now, you have to understand that there are going to be forces that are using people to try to get you back to a miserable place, to try to get you back to a place where you really don't belong, because it's not for you to be in that sunken place, miserable and unhappy. Somebody who does not even know my business, I don't share my business, I don't talk to them about my business or what's going on in my life. So that tells you that this is something bigger than just a person just causing discord. This is something to pull me off course and try to bring me back to a place that was not prosperous for me. Okay, so the last thing is that you are going to notice that there are going to be a lot of distractions, okay, once you find your purpose. It will probably be so subtle too. Maybe you're working on something and you need to be working on this thing. All of a sudden, all your friends want to hang out, this week when you have stuff to be doing. All of a sudden, now this has come up to take you from working on this, good or bad, whatever you may consider it. But you have to be, again, tapped in to notice that now you're being distracted and things are happening so that you're not able to do what you need to do that needs to get done to help other people. So you have to be aware of these things. Again, back when I wasn't in purpose and doing what I was supposed to be doing, I didn't notice distractions were happening like this because I'm good. I wasn't good, but I wasn't doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So what distractions are needed? I wasn't really doing what I was called to be doing or making a big impact or difference at that point in my life. But once I started to do things that I needed to be doing, and maybe the distractions were there, but it really didn't matter because I wasn't fully where I was supposed to be doing. But now that I am at that place, I can notice the distractions, and the distractions do matter. The distractions do have an effect because it can slow me down. It can keep me from doing what I need to do, reaching who I need to reach, operating in what I need to operate in. So just be aware that the distractions will come. So you guys, I think that this video is pretty much complete. I just wanted to, give you some pros and cons of what it can be like actually finding your purpose and walking it out. Again, I came into the process so naively and believing that it was just going to be this easy process and, like this fairy tale like thing, but it really wasn't like that. So, but to be honest, there were some things I needed to learn on the journey, and so I'm just sharing those things with you. So I hope that you have a great day, that you enjoyed this video. If you're walking out your purpose and you've experienced some of these things, feel free to comment. Or if you have any questions, if I can answer them, then I will try to answer them. But I hope you have a great day. And I thank you so much for watching this video. Bye.